We'll walk around. I wanna see some tigers. Walk around. I wanna see some tigers and some Peets. I really wanna hear some squeaks. Walk round the compound.
Hey, do you know how David Lynch has that movie Twin Peaks? Well, let's check. Have you ever seen this hit sequel Twin Peets? I think not. It's a blockbuster. Hello, all you big cat lovers out there. It's me, Derek, again. Welcome to another super fantastic episode of the Walk Around the Compound webcast. Hi, hello, we're getting started. Where's Munch? Where is he? Where is he? There's no way that he's not waiting for us somewhere. I don't know where he is. I legit don't know. I'm seriously not even playing a game right now where it's just like, where's Munchie? I actually don't know. So it's gonna surprise me at the same time it surprises you. As we go around the corner and he's just like smoking a cigarette and just looking at a Tiger Nudie mag and he's like, I'm on break. I'm like, oh, sorry. Munchie. Munchie. Munchie's buttered toast. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Munchie's buttered toast. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh. What's going on here? Munchie. Hey. What are you doing? Look at all the peat marks on this side. Munchie's got peat marks on the side, but they look like, you know, like that, like hash marks. You know, carving out the number of days. What do those marks mean? Like, counting my snuffles. I'm like, oh man, that's pretty wicked. Ooh. I marked down all the times that I would have killed Derek had the fence not been there. It's kind of like how, you know, pilots in war will put like the hash marks for like the number of planes they shoot down, or, you know, stuff like that. Munch. Or the hash marks, the number of times visited my dinosaur. Oh, Munchie, there's so many. Hey, you. Oh. Fed last night. Yeah. I see you. Fed last night. So, few bellies. There are a few bellies. There's a few bellies. A few kitties just kind of going just like, bleh. Just kind of like that. I thought of, no. Hi. I thought of just, it's something really stupid. Why? But it's like the way that she was curved. Maybe this is because I was also like designing stickers. And like working with like, you know, formatting like circular template things in like photo editing programs. I don't know why it is, but then I started to like imagine like, okay, like if you were to sit there and like take her just like based on like the angle, like this slight curvature, like, and of course you'd have to use like pi as a reference, but like how much of her would you need to then make a full circle based on her angle? And then this is the other thing. Okay, so there's that, which is more of like a high, it's not like, oh, this is rocket science, but it's a little bit more of a higher concept. There's math included. But then I also thought like, okay, well, in order to propel herself along this imaginary circular plane, her butt would be like a rocket, but it's like a poo rocket, just, but like, you know, again, just pi 3.14. And I had that. That thought came into my head. Just to add that as a concept, that as an abstract thing, popped into my head, it just quickly, but I immediately said, just like, don't tell the people that, Derek. Don't tell the people what you just thought. And I'm like, no. Let me, if I explain it right, they'll understand. I think they'll get it. It's like. And then the other voice is like, getting is not the point. It's not the point. We're not saying that they won't get it. I think the real thing you got to worry about is whether or not they're going to get you after you say that. That's a risk I'm willing to take. Firebug. Firebug. Hello. 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 I did some stuff to this Pete right here this morning. Oh boy. We were out cleaning enclosures, doing stuff. I remember I was talking about Heidi and I, we were trimming tree branches underneath that big elm out in front of the Baggy's elm in front of the vet center. And Heidi was driving the tractor and I was up in the bucket. And I'm pretty sure-footed. I actually have fairly decent balance. And it's like, if I fall, I know how to fall. It's very important. I know it sounds like that's kind of like, that doesn't sound like that's a good skill to have. Like, that's actually a very important skill to have. Joe, I'm talking about trimming trees, canopies, and stuff like that. I got a pair of water shoes. Water shoes. I bought them on the internet. I bought water shoes for my water sheeps. And they're great. Because, of course, like, we had just been having so much rain, and, like, more rain is going to, no end to the periodic just occurrences of just rain. There's going to be rainfall and raininess and puddles and mud, and I'm like, just try water shoes. You've tried, like, thick boots. You've tried the recycled sneaker method. Let's try some water shoes for a little bit. I'm like, all right. I liked them. They've been pretty good. I will say, the top protection element, not a thing. I dropped, in the process of feeding the babies, it's like a whole thing where it's like you have the carcass, okay, because there's legs, there's chunks, okay, oh my gosh. Okay, so this part from elbow to hand, that can be a part, and then from this elbow to shoulder, that can be a part. Generally speaking, leg from bottom up to hip joint, you cut that off. But then the chunk is actually this part here. So butt and like the thigh part up into that bendy joint. So there's a chunk that come off there. Then if you do it right, there should be enough meat left on this leg. And then head, neck, and then the carcass, the actual body cavity that is then gutted. You take all the guts out, stuff like that. So, like, no arms, no guts, no head, but a lot of rib meat, and then there's a lot of back strap. There's meat in just different kind of things. So feeding a rather larger body to the 3 babies. And it was big enough to where we could cut the butt off. Now when I say cut the butt off, what we end up doing is, okay, so you got the guts, you take the guts out, and then, so the legs are gone, but then you have the hip. So then in between the ribs and the hips. So you got the ribs, the hips, and then there's no guts. So then you actually cut. So you take your knife, you cut all the way through, but then you got the spine. So then you have to chop. You have to chop through the spine. That's one of the things you got to do. And as I chopped, butt falls, and so the tractor bucket was inside the enclosure, and I chop and then cut. Well, so no, you cut first and then you chop. So you get the meat around the bone all kind of cleared, chop, fall off. Great, there's the butt, pull that out of the way, come over here. Now I got the rib cage back strap. I got like a big good sized body cavity that's gonna be good enough to feed the 3 big babies. And I'm like tugging and pulling and tugging and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of shimmying it out because there's actually another body laying on top of it. And I pull and it just, and like the spine like crunch on the top of my feet when I'm wearing thin water shoes. And I'm just like, and Heidi's just like, and I'm just like, yeah. And she's like, I don't know if yeah. And she's like, mental note, because like I'd been talking about my water shoes. I've been like, oh, my water shoes. And then she's like, well, mental note about water shoes. Like they're good for some things, but and I'm like, top protection. Yes. Yes. Noted. So, Nadel. Hey, needle. Oh, what a good boy. What a good boy. But anyway, that's not the point. We were cutting branches down, and I'm up on the bucket, and I'm like straddling, so like the edge of the bucket is coming up like this, and like Heidi is like off to my left. Or if I kind of do one of these on the edge of the bucket. If you see it, you'd be like, if my mother saw it, actually my mom would be just like, hey, there's my boy. My mom's an adventurous lady. If Lydia saw it, she would be like, whatever, just like a necklace, like, oh, goodness gracious. Get down from there. But I was up there, and the thing is, like with water shoes, is that their soles are very thin, but that's kind of the point. And part of it is I wanted to kind of be able to wear a shoe that caused my feet to have to perform natural movements, natural, just different ways in which kind of like the toes have to kind of bend around and support and grip and stuff like that. I've been noticing that I don't think that my feet are doing the right thing, just because I've been working on my running, and I've been working on my running stride, etc. I've been noticing that, oh boy, it's just causing my feet some ouchies, because I'm changing the way in which I hold, just like the difference between, what is it, supinating and pronating. So what is it? Supinating is like this and pronating is like that, or one or the other. I can't remember. It's one of those. But if you let it go for too long, it can cause problems with your ankles, cause problems with the knees, cause problems with all sorts of stuff. Hi, meet the Peter. Hi, meet the Peter. Hey, baby. Hey, sugar pie. Hi, baby girl. So yeah, even doing this, hunching, oh, I can kind of feel it. But I definitely felt it earlier. Hi, hello. Oh, but because I was wearing ostensibly like a very thin strip of leather just on the bottom, on the sole of my feet, and then I was up on the tractor and I was doing these weird kind of like balancing kind of things, like high up, where I didn't have like a steady thing, and it's, you know that scene like in Batman. I'm not trying to equate myself to Derek's trying to say just like, yeah, I'm kind of like Batman, guys. I just wanted you to know that. But no, like when they're training Christian Bale, Bruce Wayne, you know, and like there's like he's on the wooden posts and he's having to like step on individual posts. It's like, it's kind of like that a little bit. And I don't know what happened, but I stepped off the tractor. Hi. And it was like the ligaments under these middle toes, not the big one, not the ones over here, the two, but it's like these two right here. Oh boy, it's like they got struck by lightning. And it was like the ligaments underneath the toes. It wasn't like the toes themselves. It was very strange. But that was another thing. Actually, okay, people are like, I don't know, maybe it had something to do with the fact that you dropped a horse body on your foot. You might say that. I actually dropped it on this foot. Crazy pain was in this foot. Yeah. What about your theory now? I think it just had more to do with the fact that my feet are very unaccustomed to having to support themselves in such, well, I'm sorry that I'm not focusing on filming. I have a situation going on right now where the tongue of my shoe. Yeah, this is probably more important. I should probably focus on this instead of this, but this is important to me. Okay. Do you yield? Oh boy. Whoa. Excuse me. Okay, that is Leon Bandito sitting up. That is Leon Bandito, and then that's Fred Kona. Huh. Fred, was Senor Bandito picking on you? Was he picking on you? I'm sorry. Come here. Come on. Okay, Benandy, talk to your boy, all right? This is what happens. You want to make it, I make fun of him because of stuff like that. Okay, I was actually extending out, like I was trying to be like genuine and nice, sympathetic to him in this moment, and I had to do that. Ergonomic. Cripes, that was a word that I was thinking of, like the word, because it was talking about my feet. It's like, it's a different kind of ergonomic support. I don't even know if I'm using it in the right way. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. It feels right. But it feels, the etymological structure feels right, but the Pete did not. That did not feel right. I put some ice on it. Just kind of walked around. I feel better now. Like just wearing different, just regular soled shoes, I feel better. But it's really weird. If I walk on like this side of my foot, so like you support yourself with my big toe on this side, fine. If I'm all the way over here, fine. But if I'm like square on the middle and like try to like bend and then support myself, oh my God. Why am I talking about this? This doesn't matter. Who cares? It matters to me. It's still real to me. And then it's weird, and I don't know if it was like a ligament sprain, because now after I just kind of rested it for a bit, I iced it for a bit, I just changed my shoes. If I'm walking around regular, I don't feel it. I still feel where I dropped the horse body on my foot. I feel that. But walking around this one, don't feel it. But it was, in the moment, way worse. Way worse. This one, like in the moment, yeah, it sucks. But then it actually just, we kept feeding, kept going, all good. Like this one, I had to stop. I could not continue to work. Yeah. Heidi made fun of me. She did. And it was because the cleaning had already been done. The work was done, like for the day, for the most part, was done. And I came inside and I basically said like, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to eat some food. You know, I'm going to put my foot up on a pillow on the coffee table and maybe watch a little bit of Netflix. And she walks in and she's like, imagine that, you get hurt. You know, and I'm like, work was done. She's like, well, we found work still. We were working. I'm like, shut up. Leave me alone. Yeah. Anyway. Let's get a cat. Let's see if we can, let's get a Cassie squeak. Get a Cassie squeak. Let's get a Cassie squeak. I will. Sorry. Hi. Hi, Sass. Yeah, I know. I think she has okay, please don't get upset. But I think that she's like, I think Cassie is legit, like, a bit, like, in the dumps. Just because, you know, she's, you know, I don't know. If she's not like, she doesn't feel like she's like just the number oneist specialistist girl, if she's not getting the same degree, I don't know. And I think that, I can't remember what her name is, but one of our new interns, you heard her in the last webcast, and she actually did make a good point that she might just be kind of tired. She might actually have it might be like a lot because she's getting a lot of attention. She's getting a lot of interaction, which she has. Because the interns, of course, like they work in the back room and they do laundry and stuff like that. So Cassie gets recognized and noticed and acknowledged, you know, to a much higher degree than she was regularly getting prior to that. So there could be actually a little bit of like, I'm like socially kind of tired. I'm a little socially sleepy, could be. But I also kind of think that she's like, wow, he gets attention. And then everyone's like, and then I'm just like, well, maybe, then I'm like, and then other people with phones, they come up and they're like, hey, Cassie, squeak. I'm like, I don't know, why don't you ask your favorite Ruby? Why don't you ask Ruby to squeak? I don't squeak. You don't need my garbage squeaks anymore. Cassie, I never said you squeaks for garbage. I don't know how it feels to me. Don't be like that, Cassie. Come on. Don't be like that. Why don't you ask Ruby to squeak? So I'm wondering if there's a little bit of that. I'm serious. Yeah. And of course, might have like, you know, could be a little. She was eating a little bit of grass earlier, so she might have a little tummy ache. So could be a bunch of things, but it could be a tummy ache caused from a broken heart. Hi, baby. I love you. I love you very much. All right. Thanks for watching this episode of the Walk Around the Compound webcast. Hashtag #DoorBestAward in the comment section below. Like and subscribe for all of your big cat goodness. And if you want to learn more about the big cat facility around me, you can always visit the website carerescuetexas.com for more information. You keep them tigers fed. Big shout out to my extra fancy patrons. I see you. You are so fancy. And we will see you folks later. All right. Bye-bye.
The webcast is now over. Thanks for watching. You should like and subscribe for more.